Hi and welcome back to CSM TAC. I'm Peter Briggs and today we're going to do the third video of our judgmental training. I've obviously just cut the explanation for card alpha down, and I will put in the top corner here the first video which gives a full explanation of the rules of engagement. But otherwise there's two videos as normal with some questions at the conclusion to see if you understand the rules of engagement and if you can make the decisions the soldier has to make as well. As a reminder, you may only fire if there is a danger to your life or another human life, and that there is no other way to prevent that danger. A challenge must always be given unless to do so would increase the risk of death or grave injury to another person or yourself other than the attacker and the attackers, or that you are under armed attack already. If you have to open fire, then you to only fire the minimum amount of aim shots necessary. Make sure you identify your target, and whilst taking all reasonable precautions, do not injure anyone other than your target. You are not allowed to engage a target for the protection of property. We'll now watch a clip. Make an assessment on what you would do at each stage and understand the rules of engagement. Your decisions will be challenged at the conclusion. If you require a refresher on the rules of engagement, I'm going to put a link in the top corner of this video now, which will allow you to go back to my first video, and it has a comprehensive review of exactly what the rules of engagement is and how it all works. Question 1. What should the guards do next? A. Open fire. The intruders are armed and it is obvious that they are going to shoot somebody. B. Give a challenge. There's no reason to believe that there is an imminent threat to life. C. Run away. Or D. Ignore the intruders. The answer in this case is B. The intruders are armed and acting suspiciously. However, they were moving and did not have their weapons aimed at a particular target. This should give the guards time to issue a challenge. Were the guards right to open fire? A. No, unless they believed the intruders were about to commit an offence likely to endanger life, then there was no other way to stop the threat. B. Yes, it was clear the intruders were going to shoot somebody, and it was a reasonable use of force in that circumstance. C. Yes, just in case the men escaped. Or D. No, the intruders' weapons could have been fake. Here the answer is A. The intruders are still not in a position whereby it is clear that they are about to endanger life. The guard's actions would have been reasonable if he could explain why he believed honestly that the intruders were about to endanger life, and there was no other way to prevent that danger. In this case, it's difficult to see why a guard would think this. It is not lawful just to shoot suspects to stop them from escaping. However, the fact that the weapons could turn out to be fake is not a reason for not firing, if the guards believe that they are real. Question number 3. What actions should the guard have taken when it became obvious that the family might be caught in the crossfire? A. Not to fire anymore. B. To continue to fire if he could take all reasonable precautions not to injure anybody other than his target. C. Continue firing regardless of whether the family was there or not, because they were under armed attack. D. None of the three answers above. Here the answer is B. Once the intruders have returned fire, the guards are right to continue to fire to protect themselves and the family. However, if the guards had shot one of the family members, they would have had to be able to show that they acted in accordance with paragraph 6 of Card Alpha. In this case, this would have been very difficult, given the opportunities for them to fire at the intruders without injuring the family. Question number 4. Did the guards act within the guidance of Card Alpha? A. No. They did not issue a challenge before opening fire. B. No. They did not take all reasonable precautions not to injure anybody other than their target. C. No, because their firearms were not used as a last resort. Or D. All of the above 3 answers. The answer here is D. The guards had time to issue a challenge, and they should have done, to avoid any injury to any family member, and they could have given the intruders time to comply with their orders before firing. Therefore, they did not act within the guidance on Code Alpha.
Yeah, so we're all going to meet in the Two Twigs at 8 o'clock Saturday, if you're up for it. All right, mate, what are you up to? Army, stop! Stop or I'll fire!
Question number 5. The suspect is carrying a weapon. What actions should the guards take next? A. Open fire. The suspect has a weapon. B. Open fire. The suspect was planting a device. C. Issue a challenge and then prepare to use your firearms as a last resort. Or D. Issue a challenge and then open fire immediately. Here the answer is C. The suspect did not constitute an immediate threat to life at this stage, and therefore the guards had time to issue a challenge. They also had time to give the suspect a chance to comply with their challenge.
Army, stop or I'll fire!
Question number 6. Was the guard right to fire and shoot the suspect? A. Yes, if she believed that the gunman was about to turn and fire and they were in immediate threat to life and there was no other way to stop that danger. B. Yes, otherwise the suspect would have made his escape. C. No, you can't shoot someone in the back even if they are threatening life. D. No, she could not fire an aimed shot at his back. This answer is A. The gunman had clearly ignored the challenge and had returned fire more than once. It was therefore reasonable for the guard to fire at him, even though he had his back turned to her at the time, if she honestly believed that he would turn and fire again, to present an imminent threat to life and there was no other way to prevent that danger. Question number 7. Could the guard have fired more rounds? A. No, she must not waste ammunition. B. Yes, if she believed that there was still a threat to human life. C. Yes, if she needed the practice. Or D. Yes, if he was not dead. As ridiculous as some of those answers may be, the answer is B. She could have fired more rounds as she believed they were necessary to remove the threat to life. This does not mean that she had to ensure that the gunman was dead, and she would have had to be able to justify every single round that she fired. And here is your final question for today's video. Question number 8. The female guard who shot the intruder was not the guard who issued the challenge. Should the original guard have fired? A. Yes. The intruder still committed an act that would likely endanger human life. B. No. The intruder may not have heard the challenge. C. No. It was an illegal act as she had not been the one that issued the challenge herself. Or D. No. She should have let the other guard fire first. This answer is A. Only one challenge needs to be issued. If a guard was aware that the challenge had been issued, then he or she may open fire, in accordance with Card Alpha, even if he or she was not the person to issue that challenge. A challenge should only be issued as clearly as possible so the guards can assume that it has been heard, even if the suspect does not comply. In this case, the female guard was right to open fire if she believed the gunman posed an imminent threat to life, even though she did not issue the challenge.